Crossing the finish line. No one wins alone. What do the winners have that you don't have yet? Hello, everyone. My name is Tessa. I'm a marketing strategist, and I have Kai all day, who I'm going to get in the stream with me. There we go. Kai, who's a business coach. And we have two really important things that we want to cover with you today: the not so secret weapon that all winners have behind the scenes, and the truth about motivation. So let's dive into this fun topic, crossing the finish line.
So let's just really let's start with motivation, because I feel like if you go onto Instagram, there are tons of feeds, and even in your feed on Facebook, all of this stuff, right? You're going to see all these motivational quotes and inspirational quotes, all these things. And that's not a bad thing. That's great. And I think you should always try to keep yourself motivated. But here's the thing is that I hear as a coach is a lot of people will say, I don't feel motivated. That's okay. You don't have to be motivated to win. All right. So that's like the first thing I would tell people is that you don't need motivation to win. You need a target and a destination. You need to understand where you're going. So obviously, as a strategist, I will always tell you, know what the end goal is and figure out what the steps are to get there. But motivation is a lot like, okay, and I'm going to tell you guys a secret that I just found out when Tessa and I were creating the show. So I had no idea, but Tessa used to race cars. Like, what the heck?
I did. It's true. I really tried to find some pictures too for everyone from that time in my life. I know. I actually did a NASCAR experience where you go around, the big track ridiculously fast. And then I raced my own cars in autocross and around like a Portland International Raceway. So I was very addicted to it.
That's so funny. So I just thought everyone should know that. But anyhow,
very different side, and most people don't know that about me. That's for sure.
And so if you saw the title, that was like really a little like salute to her past as a racer. But also what I want to tell you is that motivation isn't what makes you successful. So it's okay if you don't feel motivated, because here's the thing is that motivation will fizzle out. So there is going to be a time where, you're just not feeling it. And no matter how many posts you look at, no matter how many inspirational videos you watch, it's just not going to do it for you. So it's a lot like, this is going to be a race car thing. And if I'm wrong, guys, you can put it in the comments. It's totally fine. But like when you watch Fast and the Furious and they have like the nitrous oxide button thingy, and then they press it, Tessa's like, oh my gosh, guys. But they press it and they give them that boost of energy so they go faster. That's kind of what motivation is. It's a boost, right? And it can help you to get through a lot more quickly, but it's not something that will sustain you or make you successful for that.
Exactly.
And that's just what I want to tell you because I hear it so often. And so the truth is that there is a not so secret weapon that everyone that you see who is successful, there is a reason why they're successful. And this goes for anybody that you see. So if you're thinking of like a singer, if you're thinking of an actor, if you're thinking like anyone who you see that is successful, a business entrepreneur, like all of these people have this weapon, and it is that they have a team. Now, what does that look like? Because then you're going to say like, well, that person, they own that business by themselves. Well, who helped them? Who gave them, who were they watching? Even if it was virtually, who were they watching that helped to feed that? Who really got them to think the way that they do? Who were the people who trusted them enough to give them money to have the business, right? All of these things are your clients. They're just as much a part of the team because they're giving you feedback. They're, but in reality, even then they had to probably read a book on how to build the business. They had to talk to people, get a mentor, have a group. There were probably people that you just don't see. So it's a lot like a race car driver. Right. Yes. The only person I know is Dale Earnhardt. So I'm sorry if that's whatever. But, he is a famous race car driver that even I, who don't race, know. We think of it, right? They cross the finish line and then they're the ones, their hands are up, all that stuff. And that's the name that you remember. But before he ever got to that racetrack, he had to what? He had to learn how to drive that car, how to handle that car. He had a coach. He had people who were maintaining his car. And even in the race itself, right? Like when his tire goes flat, he's not getting out of the car and then putting on the tire. No, he's going into a pit. Everyone's changing tires. They're doing all the things. There's this whole team, and there's still a coach in his ear, even when he's driving, because they can see things that he cannot. And so when we talk about, you need a team, it's not that it would be nice. It is that it is necessary. Having people with you is necessary. And it's because, let's just take a step back. And it's a lot like, if when it's bright outside and you're walking around, you can see everything, right? Like, oh, I can see that. But even then, something can come out of nowhere, like a dog, or out from and then they run out. But let's say that as you're walking on this road and it's bright, you start to get distracted because you're starting to get into your feelings, like, man, things aren't going the way I want it to go. And then you're starting to doubt yourself, and then you're starting to look down, and then you're starting to get discouraged. But when you have people around you, they can help you to lift your eyes up. They can help you to be like, hey, do you see that thing over there? Hey, do you see that turn? Like, that could be an awesome turn for you. Like, maybe that's the place you're trying to get to. Hey, tapping you on the shoulder. Hey, did you hear about this? That is really what it means to have people around you. And some of you don't have anybody in your corner. And so I would encourage you to find people that you can connect with, you can link arms with, you can pray with together, that can really help you to keep your eyes on the goal and not on the distractions right here.
Yes.
So they're going to do something you don't. Right?
Yeah, that's what Kai and I actually met in a mastermind where we were helping each other it was just a small one, actually. It was out in Hawaii. And, even in a small one, even in just a group that random people that, not random, but, we're all female business owners, but just coming together and helping each other and helping each other to see what they are missing, because you are, like you said, looking down, getting distracted by things. You really can't see what's kind of coming up, and also in experience in the business. So, somebody who's been in the business or started many businesses in their past would be able to tell you that's something that might, you might want to look out for this, because it's like a pitfall. It's going to trip you up every time you have this giant, sidewalks out to, right in front of you. You can't even see it because you're looking at something else. So definitely looking at getting some people that can be there for you, a support group. And with Move to CEO, that's why we created Move to CEO. That's what Kai and I combined into one business to do. But it's fascinating to see how many different ladies we have. They're all from all different kinds of businesses too. It's like, apps and products and services, everything all over the board. If you're watching us live, #live, we'd love to hear what you're doing in your business. Do you have a support group right now? Do you have a pit crew that can help get you back on track when you are, when things go wrong? And if so, what is that to you? Is that like Kai has a prayer group she gets together with daily, right? So you have like an hour where you're getting together with people. And I know we have our mastermind. What is it for you? Is it friends? Is it a group of girls that you know? Or who is it that's your support group? We'd love to know. Just put it in the chat. And then also, I think the other big thing that being in a support group helps you to, come together. There's strength in numbers, right? So the more, and do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I know that you've got a verse right in front of you, I'm sure. She's like, no, I don't have that verse in front of me. I don't have a verse, but there's strength in numbers where two or more come together. Obviously, even more, 3 is even better. So I think it's important for us. We can all help each other. And our vision for what we want to accomplish is to actually have a collaborative environment where people are helping each other. You're making friends. It's just natural when you're in business and you're talking with people, you're getting to know them. It's natural for you to want to share out other people's posts or to help them get, traffic to their event, like helping each other. We can all be stronger if we're doing that sharing, we're doing that, just being kind to each other, right? The love and the likes on social media, it makes a difference. So
Yeah.
our vision is to have a collaborative environment where everyone's helping each other. When they post something, everyone can go out and share it and give each other extra boosts, a little nitrous oxide boost right there.
Yeah. And I think, what a lot of people don't realize is when you look at a lot of, and you'll see this just right now, when you see them, they're starting to actually post, but you're going to see that there are a few influencers who've been around for several years now before I started my business. And they kind of came up together, and you're going to actually realize, you're going to see that they were actually friends. They became friends. They met in a mastermind. I forget whose mastermind it was. And then they started to help each other by promoting each other's businesses. And then they started to go up in the ranks. So I'm not going to name them because
oh my gosh,
they have ads coming out right now. So you'll see them. They're always together. But, I think there's
big names.
Yeah, big names. And so there's something about that, and you need to create that for yourself, whether you're with us, whether you're in another group, but you need to find your people, as Tessa said, I loved it, your pit crew, right?
Your pit crew.
Who's going to help you, tell you, hey, you need to watch out. There's somebody coming in on the right. Like, who's going to say like, hey, watch out. There's, I don't know, what is it? Rubble or something on the ground.
Oh, yes. Rubble. Right? Watch out. Loose ground.
Yeah. And, it's somebody who's able to see from this position what's happening down here when you're like in the middle of it, and all you see is what's in front of you and maybe what's to the side, right? And there's somebody who's able to speak to you, speak life into your business, who's able to, when you can't get that motivation, they're able to remind you, why are you doing this? Because motivation won't sustain you, but consistency will. But consistency is hard when you don't have people around you who are like, hey, you can do this, because then we get lost again in our own self-doubt, right? And get discouraged. And so you need people around you who are rallying for you, right? And sometimes we come from families who don't understand the big vision we have. Sometimes you aren't you have friends who are maybe in the 9 to 5, and they just tell you, hey, it's easier to just go back to work. You don't have to stress about it. Like, you just go and you have a job, right? I've heard that before, but then you also have the other people. Yeah. So you've experienced that, right? Yeah.
Yes. A lot of people are like, I don't understand. Why don't you just go get a job? It's so easy.
But it's not easy when you have been an entrepreneur. So I did this. I did a stint for about a year during COVID. I went and I was still on my business, but I worked full time also for an online company, and they were amazing. But I was like, I cannot work for other people. Like, it was hard, because it was like, those GIFs or those memes that are like a meeting that should have been an email. Like, that's how I always felt. I'm like, what was the purpose? But that was, that was a part of their routine, and it was a part of their team building stuff. And I just didn't fit. Right. And it was like,
and we're just talking about, I know we had a couple people pop in. We're talking about how, the big picture is that if you're working and you're an entrepreneur, it's so hard to go back and do a full-time job. If you like, let's say you just fall back on it and you think, oh, I'm just going to go get a job. Like Kai's talking about how she was going to go back and just do a day job, a 9 to 5 job, and how hard that was, because once you're an entrepreneur, you really can't. It's like the freedom that you get. Yeah. It's all of the things, right? You have control over your destiny. You have control over your money. So it's so much, but if you don't have a pit crew, like we're talking about, to help get you across the finish line, is a lot harder. So I know if you're watching us live, we'd love to know in the chat if you are you a full-time entrepreneur, or are you a part-time entrepreneur? Is your business your side hustle? Sorry, Kai, I didn't want to interrupt you. I just saw a bunch of people hop on. I was like, I gotta tell them.
Oh, I love it. But here's the thing: is at the end of the day, you have to figure out who your pit crew is going to be. You have to have people that you can trust, that you can link arms with, that when, hey, I'm having a bad day, that you can reach out to and get some encouragement if you need to. Like, and that's the thing, it feels like as a business owner, we feel like we have to be on an island all alone.
Or that we need to know how to do all this all by ourselves. Like, we're born knowing how to run our own business and be a CEO. Like, that's not realistic. We don't know how to do everything.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, there's no implant that happened as soon as you decided, oh, I'm going to be a CEO. Oh, okay. Well, here's the upload. No, it doesn't work that way.
I know. Right? That's a matrix, and I would love to have that. Just
that would
upload
be really
all
cool.
business knowledge.
But our encouragement to you guys today is get your pit crew. Whoever that's going to be. If it's us, hey, awesome. Welcome to the fold. If it's not us, make sure it's somebody who is encouraging you, but is also somebody who isn't afraid to tell you, hey, that's probably not a good idea, right? You still need to know, you still need to pray over your own business. You still need to get into the word of God and understand where you're headed. But it always helps to have a pit crew around, because they can see things you can't. They can encourage you, and they have strengths even that you don't, right? So somebody might be good at strategy. Somebody might be good in social media. Somebody might be, great at, like, how do we do a customer experience? Like, whatever that looks like, you need people around you who can speak life into your business and into you, because we do get deflated with business, right? And you need people around you rallying for you. Okay.
Yes. And I think the other thing that you mentioned is that coach that was in the ear, right? So that was able to see around the corner. I know that has been absolutely critical to my business growth, is having a business coach that can help me get out of my own head. They don't tell you what to do. And Kai is great at this. She will ask questions and you come to the conclusion of what you need to do in your business. It's not, somebody telling you what to do, but you're actually growing and learning from a coach. So all of those race car drivers, I mean, they probably didn't know this is the best line when they first started, right? So they have someone who's very experienced that's telling them, like, this is going to get you there faster. So I am so blessed. I have a business coach that's actually part of my business all the time, but we use coaches too. So we are literally meeting with coaches in our business, because you can get stuck in your own, what you think is the way, and you can't think outside of that. So my business quadrupled when I actually got a coach. And, always when I've needed a special coach, I can get a sales coach, or I had a confidence coach one time. That was great. That was awesome. At the time, I was trying to do speaking engagements, and I cannot tell you how much I needed a confidence coach to be able to project and to show my expertise. I was just so timid. And so, look, we moved to CEO. It's just MoveToCEO.com, but we have something special for you guys, because we feel really called to help. In our business, we do a lot of coaching, and that is something that we get paid to do. We get paid to coach people. We get paid to do their marketing strategies and help them to really become the experts and the thought leaders that they want to be. But we feel called to help. So we have a free business clinic, and we've talked about it before in the Women Helping Women group. You can sign up for it. I'm going to put the link in the chat. It's just MoveToCEO.com/free business clinic. Come, it's free. It's pitch free. We're not going to be pitching. We literally are just doing what we call, it's kind of like spot treatment, hot seats, and problem. We're brainstorming. We do a little bit of prayer, and then we really do business coaching in there, no cost to you. So you should definitely come sign up and let us know. There's different levels of how you can participate. You can be a hot seat person and be in the spotlight. You could be a participant and just give your feedback and, hang out and learn, or you can be anonymous and submit a question without us saying anything about you individually.
And still be there.
Yeah, you
but
can still
you'll
be
get
there.
your question answered. Yeah. And so, just a reminder that there is prayer there. So don't be offended if you walk into the room and you chose to can't come, right? Like, we are,
but we're very respectful.
So.
I think that's the important thing. It doesn't matter. We would have lots of clients, and it doesn't matter to us what their we pray over our clients, we pray over the businesses. We want to be a support group. So we work with everyone, but we resonate exceptionally well with people who feel faith driven, and they have been called to do something exciting in their business. And even if you don't know what that is, but you feel that little tinge, like, I want to go this direction, I might need this kind of help, come see.
You can see what everyone is dealing with and learn the struggle before you're in the struggle, right? Like, that's what we never did. We were just in it. And sometimes it's nice to not know, because then maybe you wouldn't do it. So maybe I'll take it back. No, I don't know.
No, even if it's something that I'm not dealing with, like, you still have a perspective outside of, what that person's going through. It could be something totally unrelated. It might not have been business related. Some of the problems that we run into in our businesses are communication complications. Like, I can't communicate, but you might have been doing that with your husband or, a friend. And so it doesn't always have to do with business. A lot of people have a hard time separating, and I don't think they should separate their personal and their business. It's a blend, and it's who we are. So we should build the kind of business that we love, that matches our personality and that we enjoy being in. And you can't really do that if you have if you're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in your business, like, these two are never going to touch. Well, they probably will.
If you're having a bad day at home, it affects you at business. If you're having a bad day in your business, it affects you at home, right? So it's funny that people think it's separate, when really your emotions go with you wherever you go, wherever you are, right? Like, it's not like you left one of you at home and then the other one went to work. So
although I wish I could clone myself, that would be very nice.
But we'd all be at work. So, but we just want to encourage you all to get that pit crew. We want to encourage you guys that if you need just spot treatment or help because you don't have that pit crew right now, come and join us at the Free Business Clinic. We're still coming up with the dates. We had people who signed up, and now you'll get an email asking for your best days and time, because we want to make sure that this is something that accommodates as many schedules as we can. We know some of you are working, some of you are, so we are trying to do what we can to get everybody in the room, so that we can have the conversation, so that we can help you guys get out of stuck and start moving forward. Because if I could have had somebody where I could just show up at a clinic and be like, hey, can you help me? Like, that would have been amazing. Just to get out of my own head, right? Because as I said, you see what you see and you cannot see the rest of the picture. And that's just how it is. You don't even know what questions to ask. And the beautiful thing is, when you're in a room full of women from different backgrounds, different experiences, they've had different things happening in their own business, and maybe some of them are newer. The beautiful thing about new people is they are not tied down by the baggage that has come with the upset and the obstacles and the squiggly lines to entrepreneurship, right? They don't have that. They have kind of like fresh, optimistic eyes. But the other thing on the other side of that is, there are the people with experience. They have they can be the mama birds, right? Like, hey, no, don't do it. I'm telling you right now, do this first. Like, whatever you do this first, right? There are certain facts of business, right? And we talked about this in our last episode, where we're talking about there is an order to success. So if you missed that, please go and watch that, because that is the truth. If you're doing this and that's how you feel, and that's why you're coming to the clinic, hopefully we can help you to straighten out the line, but go and watch that video so you understand that it shouldn't feel like this.
Okay. Right. So, but that's what I think a lot of us go through, and we just feel like we're jumping from one thing to the next. So I know. Yes. And you can go to that. I'll link that in the chat as well. But we just love being here to support others. That's what we really feel our gift is, to help support and to create this environment, this amazing environment where everyone's learning and growing, and you're able to, have that abundance in your business and that abundance in life too, because when you have that, you can be gracious and give, and really support your family, and everything's good. So that's where we want to be, is just your support system. So if you haven't already, hit the bell to get notifications so you know when we go live. And go check us out on Move to CEO. Sometimes we can't get the live to go where it's supposed to go. So if you are following us on Move to CEO on any channel, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all over, you'll be able to catch the most recent live. So we'll see you all. We'll be back in about, a week. We'll be back next Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And we appreciate you all. So if you have any questions that you want to ask around business, marketing, anything that you have on your mind, you can put it in the chat and we'll add it. We used to do Dear Mo a long time ago when we were in Momentum Studio, and we used to just answer questions that randomly came in. You can put your questions on the chat and we will add them to one of our shows.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll see you all next week. Have a very blessed week. And thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys next week.
See you.